There are two things plaguing them in the zoo: lies and deceit. If not for the coming of IPOB, of Radio Biafra, all of you would have lived and died in the ignorance that Ojukwu caused a war. That's what they were writing. Britain helped them to write it. Ojukwu was a rebel, a secessionist, because we had no media. That is why they're paying Facebook billions upon billions of US dollars to stop this truth from coming out. Did Ojukwu cause any war? Gowon is alive, go and ask him. Did Ojukwu cause any war? Ojukwu went and negotiated restructuring with you in Aburi. You came back, Britain told you not to agree. They realized that all the component units of Britain knows that if you go back to regionalism, you will have economic growth. The country will do very well. But Britain doesn't want it. That was why they even instigated the Nzogwu coup, so-called Nzogwu coup, saying they will bring Awolowo to become the head of state. They knew what was going to happen. They wanted to truncate the economic miracle of Dr. Michael. But what I'm telling you are fast. Go and investigate for yourself. In the East, you had the fastest growing economy in the whole world, over 40% every year. In the West, Awolowo was performing his own miracle as well. Even in the North, Ahmadu Bello and Tafawa Balewa were doing very well. You had all those massive industries in the North. You even had Alamajiris that were employed in the North, meaningfully employed, gainfully employed. They were all doing very well. Britain said, no, for us to control these people, we need to impoverish them. Let us introduce this war. There was a coup by Nzogwu. And after that, there was the massacre of, as usual, massacre of our people in the North. Ojukwu said, I have to secure my land and my people. They said, no, let's go to Aburi to discuss it. Ojukwu went to Aburi and agreed, restructuring. That's something now you're asking for, to tell you how foolish Nigerians are. They're very foolish. That same nonsense you're asking for now was discussed many years ago. Ojukwu sat down in Aburi with Gowon and decided that regionalism was the best way forward, restructuring, going back to who you were, 1963 Constitution, 1960-1963 Constitution. Be on your own and pay tax to the central government, as they have in America, as they have even in Britain. Britain, you have Scotland that is almost independent, Wales, the same thing, everybody is free, but Britain doesn't want the same thing they're enjoying to happen in Nigeria. Why? Ask yourself that question. Anybody telling you about one Nigeria is your enemy. I'll prove it to you now. Ojukwu negotiated devolution, regionalism. The North will be on their own, the West on their own, even Middle Belt on their, Midwest on their own, and then the East on their own. It's the same one Nigeria. On their way to the airport, before they boarded the aircraft, a call came from Lagos, from the British High Commissioner in Lagos, to Gowon, telling Gowon not to agree, after having signed the agreement. That same Gowon you're looking at today, God kept me alive so that he can witness the destruction he will bring upon that very zoo called Nigeria. Gowon said no. Do you know all the journalists in Nigeria, none of them have ever gone to Gowon to ask him, why did he say no to Aburi? Aburi was restructuring. None of those agitating for restructuring right now has ever gone to Gowon or gone to Nigeria to say, but Ojukwu negotiated restructuring. What happened? They came back and they said no. Ojukwu said, okay, so you want to continue to kill my people all over the place? No. Because of that, I'll declare Biafra. Today, they have brainwashed all of you with the perverse notion and thinking that somehow Ojukwu is responsible for causing a war, when opposite is the case. If not now, that after many years of hammering on this very topic, it has now sunk into the skull of the people that Gowon was the aggressor, not Ojukwu. That's how Nigeria is, always blaming the victim. And we lost over 5 million people during that very genocidal war. They killed over 5 million Biafrans. They wanted to wipe us away from the face of this very earth. But we survived it, and we are here today. Those they gave birth to, they have come. And this time with a wrath that you cannot even begin to imagine.
Please, barrister, before you begin to contribute into the commentary, there was a comment that somebody sent to Radio Biafra. His name is, I think, is Evans. I've forgotten his surname. He was saying something to the effect that why is it that when we're talking about supporting Radio Biafra and the work that Radio Biafra is doing, and this nonsense about people forming Biafra government here, Biafra government in exile there, and all that stupidity, when there is no Biafra yet? Why is it necessary that our people must be deceived? Why are we prone? Why are Igbo people, I'm not saying other Biafran nationalities, why are Igbo people prone to being deceived? Why do we accept lies more than the truth? You can look at the other criminal groups that they set up that crumbled. What happened? They are dead, they are buried, they are finished. Nothing is coming out of them anymore. The cockroach that comes up and mentions the word Biafra wants to have his own cabinet. What type of madness is that? Please, barrister, before you begin to contribute into the commentary, there was a comment that somebody sent to Radio Biafra. His name is, I think, is Evans. I've forgotten his surname. He was saying something to the effect that why is it that when we're talking about supporting Radio Biafra and the work that Radio Biafra is doing, and this nonsense about people forming Biafra government here, Biafra government in exile there, and all that stupidity, when there is no Biafra yet? Why is it necessary that our people must be deceived? Why are we prone? Why are Igbo people, I'm not saying other Biafran nationalities, why are Igbo people prone to being deceived? Why do we accept lies more than the truth? You can look at the other criminal groups that they set up that crumbled. What happened? They are dead, they are buried, they are finished. Nothing is coming out of them anymore. The cockroach that comes up and mentions the word Biafra wants to have his own cabinet. What type of madness is that?
All right, welcome back to it. Welcome back to it. Today's very edition of this program. While you are joining us, share the video, invite others to join. Are you watching on Facebook? Share the video, click the like button. Are you watching on YouTube? Share the video and click the like button as well. Don't forget to subscribe. Are you watching on Twitter? Don't forget to retweet the video. My apologies. If we are live on Twitter, okay, we are live on Twitter. Our topic actually couldn't update. Our topic, the topic we are handling today, is not actually updating on Twitter. So, but for those of you who are watching on Twitter, our topic this time around, this evening, morning, and afternoon, depending on where you are watching from, our topic is going to be, I think our FFP is very low. Just one moment, let me see the reason why our FFP is very, very low. Let me see if our internet, yeah, it is okay, it's fair. So let us continue. It looks like I don't know, if we find it difficult, we are going to actually come back to it. So, great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world, those watching on Twitter, let me reiterate on our topic. The topic is: the war room has been created as the twist of faith loom. The war room has been created as the twist of faith loom. I don't know what is happening, and it looks like it is happening everywhere. what is happening. They are actually trying to configure this broadcast. Facebook is actually back to their fighting, and I don't know what's going on. So the war room has been created as the twist of fate loom. Tinubu plans against the court judgment. That is exactly what our topic this evening, this morning, and afternoon, depending on where you are watching from, it's all about. Now, of course, the first thing first, we're going to begin with. There is a video that I came across where somebody was talking about our land in Biafra land, where somebody was talking about that we want to go and lock ourselves in Biafra land. The same thing, almost the same thing Joy Bokwe was talking about when Joy Bokwe, was criticizing Biafra. Now, there is something about that video that I want us to actually look into, because so many of our people who are actually myopic, so many of our people who cannot reason, who does not understand what exactly is going on, they will believe when these people are talking this type of nonsense. The reason why I call it nonsense is that so many of them are talking, saying what they are saying, actually backing themselves up with the notion that they are an economist, or they read this subject in school, which means they know better than every other person that our Biafra struggle or our Biafra freedom is going to lock us up in Biafra land. That is some type of notion that I would like to treat this time around. I want to talk about it, and I want to actually give you a tip of how we're going to actually navigate all those challenges that they are picking up. They claim that we don't have land, we don't have water, that we don't have sea. That is part of their claim, but we are going to actually navigate it. I don't know what is happening on Facebook. Facebook is behaving somehow. I don't understand what exactly is going on Facebook. I don't even see if there is anybody there, but it is behaving somehow. Let me just check. 1 minute. Let me check the settings I have here, because okay, let me make this. Yeah, it is okay. It is okay. So let me check on YouTube our settings. 800 kilobyte per second. Okay. No, it's not that bad. So let's continue. I want to actually correct such notions. Some people will say we are landlocked. If you want to put it in a simple word, they say we are landlocked. And then those people who claim they read economy, or they are economists, giving you their own report, and this their own report, you will actually discover that their report does not make any sense, because the type of economy that they studied, it is the type of economy that happens in the zoo, because they are zoo graduates, and they will continue to have that mindset, the initiative coming out of that zoo country called Nigeria. So that is the reason why we have to correct that notion. We have to actually make sure that we say we bring the real narratives, and we bring the real, story behind what's going on. Because so many of our people, they are, their mind is actually limited to see the bigger picture. Their mind is actually so limited to understand that it does not take what you have or what you do not have to build a country. It takes what you are willing to do to build a country. It takes what is in your mind. What are you good for? What can you bring to the table? That is exactly what it takes to build a country. Not really natural resources, because if you look around you today, what does China have? What does Britain have as a natural resources? So many countries in Europe, they don't even have they don't even have quarter of what God gave to Africa, but today they are more rich. They are more, their infrastructure is well doing and all that. But we have all, and we claim we have all, but we have nothing to show for it. And some people will come up and tell you they are economists, telling you that separating yourself from this, British colonial rules and British colonial enclave, that separating yourself from there, it is actually placing yourself in a dead end. I am going to correct that impression and that notion, because it is very, very wrong for anybody to open their mouth to say that Biafra land is actually going to lock us up, that it is landlocked. Those who are saying that, those are the people who believe in politics without knowing how to play politics. Those are the people who talk about that. They believe in politics without knowing how to play politics. Number one, if you want to ask them a question, if you want to actually kick it back, you ask them, what was the place where Dubai is today? What was it like before it was built? And Dubai is actually planning to develop a desert. Planning to develop a desert. What is in desert? Is there any water around it? They will create water because they have vision. It takes a man with vision to build the best country in the world. It takes a man with vision to make sure that their country is rich. But the problem you have, you are an economist, you have no vision. That is the reason why you will not understand what those with vision are actually doing and fighting for. And that is exactly the primary reason why I will take it upon myself to actually educate you and educate the teacher who taught you economist without having vision to know how to utilize those your education achievement to do something that is more beneficial to your people or to the community where you come out from. You cannot come out on the media space to say you read Economist or you read comics, you read this, you read that, but there is nothing that you have to show that out of it. That is actually shameful. Because if you say that something is sweet, you tell us how sweet it is. That is exactly one of the primary problems that we have. Our children go to school. At the end of the day, they go to school to obtain certificate, to use it to intimidate people blindly without actually having anything to show. Rather, the next thing they will do is to sit in a very big desk behind a computer. Behind a computer screen. That is exactly the highest thing they will resolve to. Then you come and tell me, I went to school. What is the essence of going to school? Are you going to school to become an employee? Or are you going to school to become an employer? Or are you going to school to become an employee? You are going to school to become professional. And professionals supposed to be creating employment. Professionals are not supposed to be the ones waiting for somebody to give them employment. No, you're supposed to be the one creating employment. It is like I went to school to study entrepreneurship, and I come out, I'm waiting for an entrepreneur, I'm waiting for a businessman somewhere to give me employment. If I am waiting for the businessman to give me employment, I will have it in my mind that this is temporarily, that I will only be here to raise fund, actually to start what I studied, because I did not study to be an employee. I studied to be an entrepreneur. And entrepreneurs, they must create employment. That is their profession. They must create businesses that will employ people. Now, let me actually tell you the reason why I say that this guy, let me bring you the video first. I didn't want to bring up the video, I just received this video I received it as maybe 45 minutes ago. It's an old video, but because according to when I listened to the video, I discovered that it is an old video because it is a video somebody made during the time of election campaign. I want you to listen to that video. Let me educate that person. The reason why I want to bring it to the beginning of this program is for you to, whoever that comes across this program, it will be the first thing that they are going to come across. That is the reason why I had to do it first. Listen, but we have very important topic that we are actually planning on talking about. Let me show you, before we go there, I want to, okay, let me.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, I am going to play this video and show you exactly what the video is all about and what the video is saying. Just one moment. Now I want you to pay attention to what this guy is saying. Even though he was speaking in Igbo language, but I'm going to explain, I'm going to translate the language for you to understand the mind of our people, because they believe once you go to school and study, after studying, you become a professional by sitting at home without no job. So from being sitting at home without a job, then it makes you a professional, that you know how to do stuff, because it takes a man who is into an industry or into a business to know actually how the business is running, to pros and cons of the business. If you study to be in that business, you are not into that business, there is no way you will know better than a person who is actually into the business, because they are actually seeing day-to-day activity of the business, and they are seeing they know the pros and the cons of that business. So let me actually educate them, those people. Listen very well.
Okay, go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so ekenekwa m Igbo na washi. Ịmana ọdụ ka ife aha anyị na-ekwu since oge elugo oge ndị Igbo ya ajụ ajụjụ sị ndị a ha bịara for us ka ha dị against us.
Okay.
Now I'm bidogoro from the beginning. As of
From this video, I want you to know, let me put up a disclaimer first. This video, it is those type of people who were actually placed personally to use their narrative to actually withdraw your drive to achieving freedom. Now I am going to explain it further to you. If you understand the job of the agent provocateur, if you understand the job of those who infiltrated IPOB immediately after Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was captured and extraordinary rendition to Nigeria. Now you will know and you will understand that there are different elements with different, initiatives that has been fighting this struggle, that has been fighting this IPOB movement. Let me actually, tell you how you are going to understand it so that when you are listening to it, it will begin to make sense to you. This man, he started as a person who is fighting the infiltrator that is actually in the IPOB. He started as if he is condemning those who are against IPOB and the doings of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Now, he started with, I believe this video was released during the time of presidential campaign in Nigeria. I don't know, but they talk about election. How they say there will be no election. They talked about it. After talking about it, you will understand that there are some things that he said here that I will remind you that is valid. There are things he said here that is valid because we give credit to whom credit is due, and we actually reprimand those who deserve reprimanding, because some of these people are very, very mischievous. While even at their mischievous nature or at their mischievousness, we will still actually, make something out of their mischievousness. That is the reason why I am telling you there is something that he say I might agree with. But let us actually listen to him, because he play like a double standard or double agent. That is exactly the type of, the way he presented himself. Listen.
Okay, go ahead. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so oge ndị Igbo ya ajụ ajụjụ sị ndị a ha bịara for us ka ha dị against us. Now, ka m bidogoro from the beginning. As of 1 month ago, ụmụ okorobịa na prominent people egwu na Anambra maka election a onye eje kpọchinata ha azụ. They are gone. Ha anagokwa. Ọkwa election mechakwa ahụ oduo. Then ka ezi isi na-ejegbusi ụmụazị a onwe onye ma ife these people ya awụ echi niile. These prominent people egwu na Igbo onwe onye ma ife ha ya awụ. But na ihe hatred mere ndị Igbo na ife anyị na-arịa. Anyị jegbusibe ụmụ anyị maka na anyị sịrị gono na achọghị election. Then ịchọghị election, why can't we ịma na ife ahụ ị na-ekwu na believe na your people. Then ikwu onye wepụ aka ka ịmara ife ya emelu. Igwu ebule egbe tretebe ha gbuwe ndị Igbo igbuchakwa ha kwa election mere tata o mere tata. Anyị akpọ winner echi niile continue kwa. Secondary, itinye seat at home. Nkele isi ekita akpọpụtara Nnamdi Kanu mba emere election then nke ihe na-ataraziri ndị South East afụfụ. Yeah, ka njiju ndị Igbo mepee na anya kono jụọ, these people, are they for you or are they against you?
Yes.
Now, look at now, they can now do we have. I go economics. I'm an economy. I know what is going on in Nigeria.
Pay attention.
Now,
don't forget this part. I go economist. I'm an economist. I know what is going on in Nigeria. Now, listen to what he is trying to, talk about that is going on in Nigeria and how it is going to affect you, so that we will tackle his own problem amicably. Remember that what he said from the beginning is very valid. What he said from the beginning is very valid. The reason why I tell you is very valid is because he made a sense that I don't need to actually analyze to you by saying, are these people here for us? Are these people here against us? Because those people that he talked about were there against them. And they are still here against you. And the reason why they are against you is for you to start speaking like this. And when you are speaking like this, you are generalizing it, actually trying to make other people believe that no, these people are not with us. These people are indeed against us. And you are not telling them the people you are talking about, because you know the people that you are talking about, it is actually those who just surfaced from the periphery. And you are using their brush to paint every other, person. Because if you wanted to be sincere or to know, to be specific on what you are talking about, you call their name and you say exactly what you are talking about. So you are those that have very poor, faith, or very, very poor resilience, that they will actually do these things for you to come and say, if it is the way Biafra is going to be, we rather leave it. Just like I have been preaching over 2 years now. If it is how Biafra is going to be, I rather leave it, which is the primary plan of these agent provocateurs and, those who are invading IPOB. So, in that regard, this man is actually pushing the agenda that those people are against them. Therefore, we are not interested. We are not interested because those people are against them. It could be a double-edged sword, but I don't want to pay attention to that. I don't want to pay attention to that, because there is a lot of forces that is actually fighting our struggle. There is a lot of, different initiatives from, some of them from high places, some of them from low places, some of them even from bottomless pit. So there are many, forces that is fighting us, but we will defeat all of them. And we are going to actually show them the facts and figure, and we'll configure their mind to know what time is it, because this is not the time we used to, this time now this is fourth industrial revolution. Very, very easy one for you to understand. Let us continue. I want you to pay attention to what this guy is saying.
Election. Then in the southeast. These people, are they for you or are they against you?
Yes.
Now, look at now, they can now be we are. I go to economics. I'm an economy. I know what is going on in Nigeria. But now, I'm going to do the buyer. I got to hear the vacation in the car. Now, each they go southeast, the law call for 5 days or 1 week. No phone when there are Biafra southeast. No phone when container Yanata southeast. Only container airport. Omanga Puku na Lagos or Nana Motaria Dumore. Oh, yeah, like a good audio flow to you. Or 1 week, yeah. Oh, child of Hulu. Oh, flow doing somewhere. Oh, flow doing somewhere. Ever how to go chop yow. Oh, what a country see a bit. Most countries say enough, most villages say enough. As of today, it go back history. On the Ragi, they become alive there. Now, we have from Mado, or book the container, or when it watching southeast, or drop where I be, or the life of Nabini. Nabini, a customer, I talk where I be. The rest in economy be able to and Igbo, Boshia and Igbo. Actually, in a Keta, Napuna and Igbo. Now, look at what they even are Sama now. I'm considering Gakuko. I get him, and we now watching now Facebook. Even our own Igbo comedian, they don't Sama advertisement, when Anahana Bagasi had State.
Now, I want you to understand this one now. You see what he said from the beginning? I partially agree with him. I agree with him partially. The reason why I agree with him partially is that a business person that is actually importers, we know the challenges they are facing. The movement of the goods is actually another challenge because of the problem of the customs and all that in the route coming to Biafra land and all other etc. Now, where I do not agree with him is saying that there are people who are Igbos who are advertising the land in Asaba, advertising for Asaba people. You know, these are the type of people who use double-edged sword if they are conscious of what they are doing. If they are not conscious of what they are doing, they are ignorant. They are ignorant of the historical fact about whom we are and how we operate. Because him saying that our celebrities are going to advertise the real estate for the real estate management or the real estate investors about the land that is made available in Asaba, that they are developing Asaba more than they are developing Onitsha. The question you need to ask this young man who read economics and he said he read economist. The question you must be asking this young man or this old man is, you read economy and you look at Asaba. You are angry because our celebrity is actually advertising lands in Asaba. Now, how many kilometers is from Onitsha to Asaba? How many kilometers is from Onitsha to Asaba? The answer is, it is actually cross a bridge, you get to Asaba, right? Now, there is something that some people don't understand. Asaba and Onitsha, they are the same. These are Biafra lands. Are people from Asaba, which language are they speaking? Are they not speaking Igbo? So why are you telling us that it is not a good idea for people to go to Asaba to invest? Why would they not go to Asaba to invest? Is Asaba people not coming to business in Onitsha? Is Asaba not Biafra land? You might be saying it out of ignorance. You might be saying it because maybe you are trying to bring down the people's zeal to fight for Biafra, especially those business-minded people. But we're going to educate those business-minded people so that they will know the type of mind they are going to have as we are integrating into our, own society, into our own freedom, into our own economy that is controlled by us, the people. We will have good governance, good government. We're going to prepare your mind on how to actually integrate. Now, listen attentively. Asaba is a place where Asaba is Biafra land. So there is no problem if our people are coming to develop in Asaba. There is no problem if our people are coming to develop in Asaba. There is no problem. It is Biafra land. So you ruling the fact, if you were advising people to at least come from the Lagos and come and develop in the east, it is more, acceptable. But in a situation whereby you are going to Asaba to tell people, you are going to tell our people, no, Asaba is not our place. You should go to our place and develop. You are in Onitsha. You are in Onitsha. how you have seen what type of buildings that are in Onitsha. If Onitsha has to be developed today, many buildings are going to fall down. Many buildings are going to be demolished. Many buildings. So you need to make people to understand the fact of what development is. Not this type of building. Anywhere you see, you build. No. You build 4 decking. You build 5 decking. You build 3 decking. No. You need to prepare people to understand that the world is integrating into the real estate. Into real estate. It is not about I build 2 decking, I build 3 decking. No. It is about planning how the state is going to be. Not this corrupt government that does not have plannings and all that. First of all, you need to start educating people that they must make sure that any place they want to actually establish or build a structure, they should check the town planning to understand whether this place is, so what type of structure that need to be there. If there is a town planning in those areas, so that tomorrow nobody will come and tell you, no, we need to demolish this, we need to demolish that. Now, that is by the way. Going to build in Asaba, believe you me, it is not a bad idea. Going to develop Asaba, it is not a bad idea, because Asaba is Biafra land. Now, what I am saying, I am not saying that those who have established properties in various places in those areas of Biafra land or anywhere, government does not have right to demolish those buildings because government failed to do their duty. The law enforcers fail to enforce the law. So before government will demolish your house, they must pay you a lot of compensation. Compensation that is, that is actually the same of the value of the property, because they were there when those structures were erected. They were supposed to, you were never in government. They were there when these structures, these lands were sold. So they have to give you compensation and a time period that is actually within the ambit of the law that permits you to stay in that place until you find a better place. So that is how it works. So when you see that government is destroying your properties, telling you, no, this is not the type of structure that is supposed to be here. Where were the government when those structures were being erected? That is, by the way, it is a digression. So the reason why I am telling this guy is to stop dividing Biafra land, and because of his ignorance, he believes that he knows when he knows nothing. We cannot blame those who are advertising Biafra land, because this is how this guy has a divide and rule, mentality. Divide and rule mentality, which was implemented to make sure that our people are more divided, to make sure that our people are divided. We are not going to do this divide and rule strategy or divide and rule, rubbish in Biafra land. Because in Biafra land, we will make sure that everything we are doing it according to the book. In Biafra land, there will be, we'll make sure that everybody feel the sense of belonging. If everybody felt the sense of belonging in Nigeria, there is no agitation. There will be no agitation today. That's the way it is. So no one has ever felt the sense of belonging except the political class, because they control, they manipulate, they conquer, they implement, they actually enforce. They are the complainant, they are the law. So how do you want people to thrive in that, type of place? Now, listen to this. Listen to what this guy said further before we will give him a befitting response.
Most of these comedians now, they have discovered that in the Delta State, forget the white. We are the most foolish. They have discovered the foolishness of Ndibo. And even they made their place open for development. 1 million to 2 million. Block, massive development. They need the people to develop their home.
Okay.
Now,
what's wrong with it?
I know you never advertisement here. Now, one, they good on us. Check 80% of the people today, as of 1 year ago, that's a Calvaria and Delta State Calvaria. Because the Delta State already developed. Now, how develop we have the way they are Luburu. Okay, but they be gone now, washi. When you want to balloon a barrel, maybe if I was in Obratafia, opposite answer. The nation, Obratafia, the nation, no hotel ever, the nation was more for company there. In the next 20 years, I know that's about so. My head, I develop last summer. Can you have any develop number? On an social development. I got the Lacanana. The Bina where it got done Bonana. And now so close. Oh, maybe when I have will continue to know what I can develop without foreign investment. Without investment,
okay. There will be no country that will develop without foreign investment. He is contradicting himself in what he is saying. There is no country that will develop without foreign investment, number one. Now, he will go ahead to tell you that Biafra land is landlocked. Now, if we lock ourselves in Biafra land, that we will suffer. Now, he is the same person who is crying that our people is going to develop Asaba. Now, he will now tell you the next about it. But don't forget, he said that there is no country which will develop without the foreign investors. That's what he said. These foreign investors, it is about capitalist economy. That is exactly the type of economy that attracts foreign investors. So he talks about capitalist economy. So now let us actually continue to listen to him so that you will understand further.
Can you have any development? On an social development. I got the Lacanana. The Bina where it got done Bonana. And now so close. Oh, maybe when I have will continue to know what I can develop without foreign investment. Without investment and people coming, that country will never be developed. Onye na-abịa n'Igbo nke ọ ya abịa echi niile enwe obere okwu na boys agbapụ ọsọ jee mmụọ ife ya ọkụ maka na ọwụ foreign. Onye ukwu mana ọ nọ n'ebe ndị ọzọ. Okay.
What this guy is really saying, I don't think this type of thing happens in Biafra land. This guy is just, I don't know, those in Biafra land that are watching us, you can actually confirm to us if Biafra land has gone that bad. If Biafra land went that bad, I don't know, maybe it started happening during the time of election. I don't know. The Biafra land that I know, I don't think this guy talking about going to burn places. I don't think he is not actually saying the truth. But however, let us continue to listen.
Okay, Anna. Otunda sabasi otunda Delta State is the lesson the Bayan. But you won't never again go to and then they will rebel against that number.
Okay.
This is the reality of people.
Have you seen what I called divide and rule strategy? That was the implementation they did on us. And that is what is driving this guy that is speaking this. The divide and rule mentality. You have been divided. You are championing it. You are the one promoting your downfall. Because divide and rule amongst our people. It is why we do this awareness every day. It is the reason why we will continue with the awareness, because they have divided us. They made sure we start competing with one another. They make sure we start actually fighting one another. They make sure we start seeing others that I am more important more than you. I am more intelligent more than you. That is the reason why these people from Asaba will tell you that they are not Igbo. Even though their names are Igbo. Even though their language is Igbo speaking. People from Urobo. People from Aneoma. They will tell you, no, we are not Igbo. But they answer Igbo name. Just that their tongue is something else because of their mother side. Then they will tell you, no. This is part of the divide and rule. The mindset of this guy is mindset that is implemented during the introduction of divide and rule against our people. That is what this guy is actually carrying. The time they will tell you, Okwandeza, these are divide and rule strategy. That is the reason why we don't need old people in the power. Those old people who are actually, conservatives towards this, what I called myth. They're conservative, the conservatism that they practice, it is embedded in myth. Mythical story that was told. That's why we don't need old people. They should go for pension. We retire all of them, take care of them. Not to put them in the position of power. Because they are championing this ideology. They're stereotyping people. They are telling you this is this is that. No. The only thing constant in life is change. And that change is what needs to occur before we will actually get to where we are going. If there is no change, we are not going anywhere. And that's why we continue this campaign. That we are actually fighting for all this stereotypism, all this naming and shaming, all this seeing yourself as if you are better. We are fighting to eliminate them. There is something every other person will be able to, bring out. They can anyone can contribute something. And when they contribute that thing that you cannot contribute, don't see yourself you are more knowledgeable or you are more wise than them, because you don't know that thing they contribute. You know the one you contributed. And that is exactly the initiative we want to, bring into our people. We are not here to champion the agenda of divide and rule. We are no longer going to champion it. And we will continue to educate our people until their mind is actually emancipated. This is part of the emancipation, mind emancipation we are talking about. Because when you talk, the way he is talking, it is actually a very, very, bad news towards what we are doing, because unfortunately we are here to understand him. If he is just ignorant, we will educate him. If he is just somebody that is very the enemy who is trying to use some this strategy to make our people derail, we will actually still educate him and cast him away. Now, pay very good attention.
Now, everything. Yoruba, Southeast. In the next 10 years, the whole business will move over to Asaba. I'm telling you the reality.
What is the business in Onitsha? What is the business in Onitsha? Hey, Do you think that if Biafra come, we will be dependent in the type of business you are talking about in Onitsha? These people, their mind, these are economic people who read the economy. We will not be dependent on the type of business is in Onitsha. If they move it to Asaba, so be it. If Asaba people want it, let them move it. So be it. These are Biafra lands. And we are not actually dividing ourselves anymore. We are actually uniting ourselves now, because that is the time we are. Now, let me tell you the reason why it is very important that whether they take these businesses, whether they take it to this or to that place, it doesn't matter. Because when Biafra comes, everything will be arranged in a manner that everybody will be, profiting from or benefiting from it. And it starts with infrastructural planning, infrastructural development. That's where it starts with. That is exactly what we tell you, the type of business that will be done here, the type of business that will be established there. That is exactly the way it is. But pay attention. I want him to learn before I actually bring it to him.
If in the next 10 years, they will take over the economy of Nigeria. But one day, once you have today, they will losing it because of their foolishness. And they those people are not again. Most of them know what they're working on. I know how to pass as well. In the next coming years, they will take over.
Are you scared of competition? Are you scared of competition?
Most of these IPOB members, they don't even understand what is economy in Africa.
Did you hear that?
For Africa, nobody comes to buy from us.
He said most of these IPOB members, they don't understand what is economy, and specifically in Africa. And he said also that the world is not coming to buy from Africa, and Africa goes to buy from the world. That's what he said also. Now, let me allow him to land.
Look at Germany, look at UK. You can't compare yourself to these people. These people will trade, with many other countries. Even at UK, even at Europe. At least if we can do good product, made in one Asia country. If we can do Asia and Tata, if we don't Asia in South America, it's not Asia had one Africa. Nobody cares to come to Africa to buy anything. The only thing that they go from Africa are raw materials in the process. They put it on as a finished product. Anything made in Africa. It's real. You can accept. The racism and the discrimination is open for everybody. After that, I fight against racism. It's open. So, what can Africa do to develop itself? For me, the union. I go to wine at this lower level. I am international. I go to wine at this lower level.
True.
Now, the only thing that thrives well in Africa now is good business, buying and selling. That's why Igbo people are the richest tribe in Africa.
Okay.
Now, without that buying and selling, without selling to your customers, without having consumers. Now, Southeast.
Correct.
Number one, can go watch the implication of inflation. Because I study the economy, some of it. Now, look at you. You put a tafia na Anibo with the container. Now shipping. You see Yoruba land. We put a there east. And I charge you 2 million naira, 2.something million. So motor you because also if I am going to also the custom can go. They are discouraging that development and business in the Southeast. How to coordinate with Yoruba. Now, You see Port Harcourt, and the same thing Kenya can become a custom canco. Can even you make I don't know why in South East. Now, we should know how much I need. Million or so, I say, well, when they come in the possible, million to knowledge. I say, why in a cook in a I said, no, some Europe, then Europe has said, do you know the meaning of European Union? Or they can decide what the three advantages and disadvantages. Now, if you know who we're going to Southeast, you know who we're going to Southeast. If we're not half year, now, they're going to have to go higher to work here to you.
Now, let me stop him here. Now, let us educate him properly, because the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. That's what I have seen. Now, I want you to understand that everything he said, it is those ways that looks, good in the sight of the man, and the end of it is destruction. That is exactly what he is saying there, what he's doing there. Now, he said that there is no country that will ever thrive without foreign investment. He went ahead and said that the Europeans and every other person are thriving today because they have, trade union. They have union that support themselves, that they don't support Africa. Now, he also went ahead and said that the Igbo people, for them to bring their container back to the east, there is too much custom on the road, that if they go to lock themselves up in Biafra land, that it is going to be worse. And he said that we are landlocked, that he was arguing with somebody, and where that person said to him that we will actually grade the River Niger and grade it into the high sea. Then he starts saying, do you think you will grade any water and grade it into another person's water? Now, remember what we are talking about in this case scenario, where he talked about grading and the Onitsha, which is so-called River Niger. Now that you will not grade it into another person's water. Now let me tell you about that. We are talking about a sovereign nation, and immediately when Biafra is actually recognized, if Biafra become a nation today, Biafra becomes the 53rd countries of Africa. If Africa is 52, or if Africa is 54, they become the 55th country of Africa. That's what Biafra will become. And now, inside the region where they are formed, like ECOWAS, inside ECOWAS, the people within the ECOWAS, they have multilateral and bilateral relationship with each other. They have trade agreements. So inside this multilateralism, you will find people who will actually create trade agreement, whether you will have free trade with each other, the type of trade you are going to have. Now, even this relationship now give you access to water route of transportation. If your waterway of transportation is not adequately, fixed, then this relationship enables you to create a water route of transportation into their own country in order for you to have a simple and easy rule of way of transportation, transporting goods and services. Now, for the sake, we are talking about logistics. We talked about logistics now. Now, in this regard, for the movement of goods and properties to actually occur, there must be the infrastructure that will enable it to occur. So for that infrastructure to be built, there will be agreement. Just like you saw Nigeria building railway to Niger Republic or building road to Niger Republic. That is a kind of bilateral relationship. That is a kind of what the Fulanis are benefiting from Niger Republic. That is the reason why they built it. It was not Nigeria road, but there was a road. It was not Nigeria that owns that with all those territories, but they built it into the Niger Republic. Why? Because there is something Fulanis are benefiting from it. And that is how countries function. Which those things they are benefiting, it is not the benefit of me and you. It is the benefit of Fulanis and Niger Republic, but they are using Nigeria money to fund their benefits, to fund their relationship, without you as Nigerian benefiting much from there. Because you are actually having a symbiotic relationship with Fulani. They take your oil, they go and they sell it, they use it to develop their land, they use it to develop the road to Niger Republic. The symbiotic relationship. Now, you will see that water River Niger, if there is any nation that is within us that we want to have a trade with, we can actually start with connecting our water to theirs, making sure there is a sea route that is workable, making sure that there is easy movement of goods and services, so that everybody will benefit, because it is not only benefiting you, it is benefiting other people. Now, the landlocked part is something of the past, because now, once you form a relationship, if you form a multilateral relationship, it means that you are able to go to every other countries, and that is you into this relationship you have formed, and actually grade your water to them, so that there will be free movement, easy movement of goods and services. It will work in their benefit, it will work in your benefit, because there is something you produce that they don't produce. There is something they produce that you don't produce. So it is in their benefit when they supply you, you supply them. It is called like trade by barter. They supply you this, you supply them that. You pay differently, whatever the difference of the services. Now, for you to see that no one will tell you that Biafra land is landlocked, because Dubai was found in the desert. Dubai is, one of the most beautiful and tourist attraction of the world, right? You see now, Dubai is not only making money from the oil they have. Dubai is making money from tourism. The attractive nature of Dubai attract tourists to come and visit the country. You grow your economy through tourism. So there are many things that you can do to attract people. It is not about natural resources. Now, when you come to it, you find out that our people are having the mind of entrepreneurship, and they are entrepreneurial people in our land. So in that regard, what we need to do to these entrepreneurs, we don't have to scare them away. We bring them close. As if you are a government, you bring them close. Those you actually discover the talent that they possess into entrepreneurship. If the government does not have enough money, government make an implementation. Invite these entrepreneurs to actually invest to it. Let me tell you what will make Biafra land successful. It is not about the sea, it is not about anything. It is about industrialization of our land. Once we industrialize our land, we manufacture goods and services that the people around us are not manufacturing. Then once we industrialize our land, you see all these type of buildings in Onitsha, you will no longer see them anymore. There will be planning there will be planning, there will be sewage system, because some of these buildings, they are on top of where sewage system is supposed to go, and it is not yet built. So for us to achieve that sewage system, those buildings, some of them need to be removed, that the sewage system will be connected, the town, every city will be planned accordingly, according to what is expected of that city. If this city is going to be a center of attraction to attract tourism, or tourists rather, you plan that system, that area, to be a tourism or tourist attraction or tourism attraction. You build it extraordinarily that people will come to be checking it out, just like Dubai under United Arab Emirates. Now, in that regard, you find out that even in Onitsha, the type of place, maybe you make Onitsha an industrial area, or you make Aba industrial area. In Asaba, you make Asaba a real estate, where real estate are going to actually invest more. Those people who are into real estate, they invest more in Asaba. You bring industry to Onitsha, you bring industry to Aba. Maybe in Enugu, you make Enugu a center of tourism. Center of tourism. That's how it is. You make, Port Harcourt. You make Port Harcourt maybe a business hub of Biafra land, because there is a sea route. Likewise, Onitsha. Onitsha has a sea route as well. You make Onitsha also a business hub as well in that area. If we have two of them in a nation, then other places, just like there will be center of tourism, there is a tourism attraction, there will be industry, there is a business, maybe there will also be free market. But in this type of free market, you will make it like industrialized free market, a developed, will I say, advanced free market. It is not going to be like on a Chamen market where if they call Paco, Ilewife. We build malls. We build malls. Inside these malls, we build malls which there are rural areas. We build the type of malls that is suiting to rural area. Inside the rural area, you see free markets, but in the city, you make sure that everything is in order. Even if there will be free market, you make sure that it is well regulated, neat, so that when other countries come in, they will not find it difficult to even come to your free market, because they are scared of poto. They are scared of too much people, the crowd into the free market. Everything will be regulated. It will be in every place. Those type of things, whatever you look for, you will find it in Enugu. What you find in Enugu, you will find it in Onitsha. What you find in Onitsha, you will find it in Asaba. Likewise, Delta State. Let me just call it Delta State. You will find it in Delta. You will find it in River State. You will find it in every other place, so that you will not say, no, I didn't see this part, I'm going to Lagos. No. That is exactly planning the country how it is going to be, making it easy for everybody, wherever you are rich, so that there will be no competition. These people are favored more, that people are favored more. No! Because you make goods and services available to the reach of everybody, which make it, which is going to weaken that divide and rule strategy. For people to be saying, now you are favoring these people more. No, you are favoring the other people more. No, there will be no murmuring like that anymore. What you will be hearing is that, no, if I want to buy engine of my vehicle, I will find it in Onitsha. If I'm in Enugu, if I want to buy the engine of my vehicle, I will find it in Enugu. If I want to buy anything, I will find it where I am. So that there will be nobody who will say, no, you are coming too much this side. Everything Igbos are now investing here. Igbos, this and that. You Igbo in your own lane. Every other person Igbo in their own lane. Because there is availability of goods and services. You wouldn't even... Everything is regulated. You will not be scared of competition. Because government regulates everything. So in this regard, when this guy is telling you that he understands African economy, when he said that there is Africa, you will see stuff that is sold, you found in Europe, say made in Asia, one Asia country, or all these Asia countries, they are using it in Europe because they have a trade union. Let me tell you, it is not about trade union. These things, it is not about trade union. Let me tell you what it is all about. Africa are actually mind lazy. Africa was deindustrialized. Because of the deindustrialization of Africa, which is actually not enabling Africa to manufacture things in large scale. And your consumers does not want, when they come today, you have it, tomorrow you don't have it. It is actually bad for business. So that is exactly what is killing Africa. We do not have a mechanized farming. We do not have a mechanized farming system. We do not have an industrialized economy. We do not have anything. We are reliant on this big world to actually give us finished product. If we have industrialized economy, there is no way we will not be able to refine our gold, use it and make finished product and sell it the way we want to sell it instead of selling the raw materials only. When Biafra comes, of course, you will find us we will actually industrialize our nation. And industrialization of our nation is that we are going to adopt the Chinese way. We are going to adopt European way. We are going to adopt American way. Because most of our people are walking into these spaces. Most of our people, they have walked in these spaces. Because those ways we are going to adopt. It is, instead of China building this vehicle for us in China, and shipping it to us in Biafra land, why don't you bring that industry to Biafra land? You build our vehicle that we are going to use in Biafra land. Instead of building your vehicle there and shipping it to us, so that we build your vehicle in Biafra land and ship it even to other nations who use your vehicle. And if there is a billionaire from your country, you check for what China does not have that you have. You might actually take your industry to China. Because it is not going to be about them bringing to us industry. You take your own, what they don't have, you have. You take it to China. You start manufacturing it. From China, you are actually sending it all over the place. You are exporting it. That's the way economy we are going to build is going to run. Because if you look at it, if they are manufacturing it in your land, instead of importation that will actually work against your economy, because too much of importation and not lack of exportation, it can actually, bring a bad inflation to your economy. Now, That is the reason why you have to bring their industry into your land. So from your land, you export. If you know that you cannot adopt it, bring it. From bringing it, you will learn exactly how they are doing it. From bringing it, you will now know this is how it is done. You will know what type of machines that you are going to procure. Then people are trained, in that industry. People are trained. They are not being trained in that industry to be a novice. They are trained to know the pros and cons of that business. That is how Chinese are actually successful today. That is why Chinese is successful today. So that you will know how to do something like that. Not pirating it. You will know how to establish your own that looks, that you become a competitor. It is not going to take Chinese company away. It is not going to take Japanese company away, or US company away, or Russia company away. It will not take it away. But you become a competitor to that company. If they have Toyota, you will have Innocent. That is the way it is. Then it is all manufactured in Biafra land. You build infrastructure and security architect that is going to be protecting people in your land, so that it will attract people to come into your land to invest. Because the most thing that the investor is looking for is security. And every investor that is coming into your land to invest must have a rule of engagement. You must give them your rule, lay down rules that they are not coming there in their own terms. They are coming to play according to your rules that will be profitable to them and profitable to you. Because most of the time, investors come from Europe to Africa in their own terms. Then now they will start bullying those who they are going to give employment. Because the reason why they must come in your own terms, because number one, if it is industry that use machineries and build and pollute the atmosphere, the climate, and all this stuff like that, they are going to pollute your environment. So as long as you give them your own lay down rules, they must follow, so that they will not, come and act like they will start controlling your leaders because they are giving people employment. You will give them the rules because they have to abide by the rules. The reason why they must abide by the rules, they are profiting, you are profiting. And it is happening in where? In your land. So they pay tariff, they pay tax, they create employment. They make money circulate. They do exportation of their product from your country, which actually help your economy to be actually stable. With inflation to be stable. With your money to actually be strong against the leading currency. Whichever currency that is next to it, because exportation has a lot of role to play in that regard. That's why Chinese, some of the people, our people made Chinese great today, because exportation, what we import from Chinese is too much. That exportation is part of what grew them, because they export too much. You are importing too much, importing inflation. These are the things that is actually making our own, economy people look down on our economy. Africa is not industrialized. Africa does not have advanced or developed economy. We are using old system where the white, the Europeans started before they have first industrial revolution. That's what we are still using. We are not using mechanized farming. Maybe some are using like the people, the capitalists amongst you, but they are not stretching that hand to make more investment around you. Because number one is that you don't understand the value of mechanized farming, the value of industrialized economy. Now, because sometimes you maybe think you cannot afford it. That's why shops like ShopRite, Macro is not going to thrive a lot in Nigeria. They won't thrive a lot in Nigeria because they are foreign, and then when the exchange rate is a problem, they are actually practicing mechanized farming. They don't have organic. So mechanized farming allows you or enable you to have mass production or mass, generation of anything that you are producing from your farm, be it animal farming, be it crops. Mechanized farming will make you to produce them in large scales that you can export. Consumers will always be dependent on you whenever they need it. They know they are going to find it. The reason why Africa because sometimes we might be sentimental, but the reason why to be realistic, Africa is not people are not depending on Africa to buy their products, to buy their fruits, to buy their anything. Because Africa cannot produce it in a large scale. Any African countries that has something they produce in large scale, they will be able to export it to those countries that does not have. As long as you are actually able to compete with the market that is, in existence. It is all about business strategy. It is all about what you know. Because some of our people, because you don't know it, you shut the door. If you don't know it, make it open for you to know it. That is very, very important. We cannot depend on our own wisdom. We need to learn from others. Don't learn and implement it the way you learned it. Implement it in your own way, in your own initiatives. Now, those people you call billionaires and trillionaires, that's when they have to now come to play. Because they are going to be investing their money in the real thing. They are not going to be, opening alcohol store. If they are, opening alcohol manufacturing, you know that they are doing it they are doing it mostly to sell it locally and to sell it internationally. They will have it in large scale. They will employ many people so that there will be extra production. Not these people who will open their businesses. You will find a person who has alcohol manufacturing business. You will find them having only 5 employees, 5 or even 3. They will be walking like a horse. No, you build it, you create it in a large scale, that there are hands on deck. They will be able to produce as much as your clientele, your clients will require. So if we are able to achieve these few things that I have outlined, there is no country that you will say they are landlocked. It does not exist in the 4th Industrial Revolution. There is no country you will tell me that Biafran is 75 million Maybe if this census is counted, you might even find out that Biafra is maybe 80 million. Even when you talk about the Igbo speaking, the Igbo dialect Biafra, the original Igbo dialect Biafra, you might find out that they are original Igbo dialect Biafrans. They are 50. They are around 50 million. 50 to 50. Yeah, they are around 50 million. 46 to 50 million Igbo speaking Biafra. There are countries that is just 10 million. There are countries that is 5 million. There are countries that is just 15 million. There are countries that is just 30 million or even 25 million. These countries, they are in existence. Their infrastructure is better than Nigeria infrastructure. Nigeria that is 200 million. Have you asked yourself why? It is not about what it is not about, you know, what you have, how many you are. It is about the people running the country. If you are in politics in that country, it is about people who have political will to actually drive the economy of the country to the best. It is about people who are actually innovatives. People who can innovate new things and bring up initiative that will enable them to excel in the global stage. Those are the type of things that drive economy to greatness. So every other thing that we are seeing right now, it doesn't work. Now let me leave it here because we have been here and I have a meeting in the next maybe 40 minutes. The next 40 minutes. So, great and wonderful people of Biafra, I hope you have understood that our people, our land is not our problem. What we have is not our problem. But what we are willing to create inside that thing that we have, it is most important. So anybody that tell you they study economy, that Africa, we know the problem of Africa, and that is the reason why we are fighting to restore our nation, which we are going to actually implement stuff that is going to curb the problem of Africa. We are not going to allow the problem of Africa to be our problem, because that's why we will always tell you Biafra will open the eyes of everybody in Africa. We have seen the problem. That's why we want to build from the beginning. We want to establish from the beginning. We know the type of negotiation we go into. We know the type of, relationship we go into. That is exactly what matters. So if we get Biafra today, nobody in Biafra land will ever regret it. At the beginning, as an ambida kwana afiaru, but as long as you have a vision, as long as you have a plan, as long as you have the willingness to introduce that your vision, to work on your vision, to actually work on your plan, that is exactly what drives a nation forward. Now, having seen that we are done, I don't want to emphasize on that too much, because there is something that we have to talk about, which is this images that is right in front of me. If you will remember what Erufai said, that they choose Muslim ticket in order to, that the reason why they chose Muslim ticket was in order to make sure they hold the power even till 27, did he say 20 years plus? To hold the power even to 20 years plus. But now, the manifestation of it is going to now be here. Let me give, this government another advice. Free one. Because I've given them this type of advice before. they did not pay attention to it. Maybe they paid attention to it, but I don't know. It is when, things come up, we will know whether they pay attention to it. Now, the advice is, I have advised Tinubu. I know that believe you me, I know that their media aid, they listen to this program. Their media aid, they listen to the program. You might find it is a small platform, but believe you me, the people who understand. Let me tell you something now. I am advising Tinubu because I have said that I told you before, he does not have much time. He does not have much time. He needs to do something that will be remarkable, that he will be remembered for. I've said it before, some of you who actually follow this page. He does not have much time. Now, and I also told you that he should release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. He should release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. It is part of him not having much time. Because regardless of what he is trying to do today, believe you me, he does not have much time. He might, he will fight, he will do whatever he wants to do, but he does not have much time. I want you to understand that what you do is what people will write home about you. And the one that Tinubu need to do right now, it is to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. It is to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. It is one of the things that he will be remembered for. It is one of the things that he will be remembered for the short time he will be in the office. Whether he is there for 3 months, 6 months, whether he is there for 1 year, 5 months, it is a short period of time that he will be in the office. He should do something that looks different from what other ones are doing, because he has he doesn't have much time. Because if he managed to actually relegate the court judgment that is upcoming, if he managed to relegate the court judgment that is upcoming, he will not manage to relegate the upcoming plans against him by those people around him. Now, I want you to understand that there is a statement made by Tinubu. There was a statement made by Tinubu where he said that if the judiciary actually nullify 2023 election just because of not winning 25% in the federal capital, which is actually a law that is binding within within the Constitution of Nigeria when it comes to election protocols. There are laws that are observed, which 25% of the federal capital or 30% of the 25% of the federal capitals must be must be achieved by the leader of this of the votes. Now you'll find out that he did not achieve that. So because he never achieved it, he now made a pronouncement. He made a threat to Nigeria. And that threat, he said, let me read it out for you so that you will understand that threat. You will now ask yourself whether it sound alienating, and we will also call Waloshowinka Professor Waloshowinka to actually give us an update when it comes to this, Tinubu statement. He should give us an update. He should as well analyze to us, the layman, exactly what this man said, if it is alienating, if it is not. The reason why we are saying it is that we judge everybody according to what they present. Listen to what Tinubu said, and I will remind you what was alienating about those people who believe in obedient movement. Tinubu to tribunal, nullifying presidential election on account of 25% FCT vote could lead to chaos, anarchy. Could lead to chaos, anarchy. It is a threat to the Nigeria. It is a threat to Nigeria. The reason why I said it is a threat to Nigeria is because it is what they called it. Who is this man that is the vice president to those obedient movement? Who is the person that was running for vice president in obedient movement? Is it Dati? Dati, yes. When Dati said that swearing in of Tinubu is going to be the end of democracy in Nigeria, what was the response from Tinubu group? The response was that Tinubu, Dati is actually threatening the sovereignty of Nigeria. That he is threatening the sovereignty of Nigeria. And Waloshowinka baptized it and said that the words he used is alienating. And he also said that, what did he say again? What did he say? He said alienating and something like condescension. He said those things when Dati said such thing, that making Tinubu president is actually the end of democracy in Nigeria. Now Tinubu is telling you that if you nullify the election because he did not win 25%, which is constitutional, mandate that you must win 25% in federal capital before you become a president of Nigeria. That if you nullify the election, it will lead to chaos and anarchy. And if you know Tinubu very well, you will understand that if you know what happened during NSAS protest, you will understand what he is capable of doing. So that is the reason why he is called the Jagaban of Lagos State. And while at it, you will the court is actually almost over. They're just waiting for judgment, because the court hearing is done, waiting for judgment, and everything is pointing against Tinubu. And it is not only about the 25%, because there are many things. There were many things that was actually, people talked about with regards to what exactly is driving his failure. Why is this thing asking me to create an account just to see a tweet? Just one moment, I'm trying to bring out some comment that is coming out of these people, because I want to tell you exactly what is going to be. exactly what is going to happen right now. Because Tinubu is a Jagaban of Lagos State. And when he is a Jagaban of Lagos State, you will understand that he can do anything in order to retain the position which he has. And then, as an you will now see that we will start shouting. That is where we will say, rejoice my people, for Biafra is here. Rejoice my people, for Biafra is here. Rejoice my people, for Biafra is here. Why am I saying so? It is because immediately when Tinubu starts his anarchy, if election is nullified, I know that he has a plan B. He has a plan B. He has created a war room for that, which I've told you that he created this war room, making Asare Dokubo the board chairman of this war room that he is creating. Asare Dokubo is the board chairman of the war room he has created. I made that program sometime last month, I made that program sometime last month. Now, Asare Dokubo become the chairman of this war room, the driver of this war room. Now, being that he has made that as a plan C, as a plan B, because his plan A is the reason why he did not have any reshuffle in the judiciary. There is no reshuffling in the judiciary. Since there is no reshuffling in the judiciary, what Tinubu is planning to do, if the court actually nullifies the election, Tinubu will now go to Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is when Tinubu, because he will appeal, it is within his right to appeal. He goes to Supreme Court. That's when you will start seeing CGM, you will start seeing Attorney General, you will start seeing all these, people, pulling their ranks. That's when you will see justice system being manipulated. Follow the trade. Now you will understand that if that did not work, the plan is anarchy. What our people saw during the time of election, it is going to be baby. So the call for our people to take back their stuff to Biafra land, in the West, that plan is still in place. If you will listen, you should take your stuff, go back home, just leave your shade and every other thing you have. Make sure that most of your stuff is back home. It will help you. Because if this works according to the algorithm, you will understand that we are going to rejoice because Biafra is here. Biafra is here. Now, the reason why you will understand what you must understand what I am saying, it is because Tinubu has a good ally where CGM, is it CGM you call him the chief judge, CGN, chief judge of Nigeria, or chief justice of Nigeria. He has a good relationship with those pair. They have a good relationship. Now Tinubu works with all these people. So when the case gets to Supreme Court, that's when there will be manipulations of the process. If you see obedient case and the election case being like Nnamdi Kanu's case, hey, don't be surprised, because the process is the same process that they will always use. If you see this case of election and their malpractices being like Nnamdi Kanu's case, don't be surprised. Because that's where the algorithm is actually taking it. Because the reason why I am telling you that is that maybe if the court tribunal decided that they will give a correct judgment, and within this, within all the findings that these people have, all the facts and the figures they have in their hands is actually pointing against the Electoral Commission, is actually pointing against Electoral Commission and the Tinubu APC practices. Now, if the verdict is going to be like Nigeria election is seen to be null and void because there are irregularities which different organizations actually noticed, testified about, and there is no 25% in the federal capital, which is mandatory in the system of Nigeria. So, with all these things, we hereby see the 2023 election null and void. Now, immediately when it is done, Tinubu will now take the maybe he will take it to appeal court. After appeal, Supreme Court of Appeal, then that's where you will see the manipulation of justice system being done. That is the reason why they put this plan that whoever that wins the election must be sworn in, even if they are going to court, so that you will have the upper hand against your opposition. You control the justice system because they are not independent. So that is exactly what is going to happen. If there are people who their eyes are open following what is going to happen, the Supreme Court of Appeal, that's when you will find out the anarchy. The anarchy will start. That is going to be like war start. Even Fulanis will come out from their cocoons. Those Fulanis, you see that you don't hear about them in the West most of the time now. They will come out from their cocoon. It is the plan to invade Biafra land. It is the plan to invade our people. It is the plan to attack our people. It is the plan to render our people useless. They say you are landlocked, but they gave you a naval chief. So what is going to be the benefit of the naval chief in your landlocked geographical location? So, in all this, I have given you, I don't want to emphasize on that too much. I don't really want to emphasize on it too much. But bear it in mind that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is threatening Nigeria, because he is calling for the judiciary to uphold illegalities. To uphold illegalities. Because there are people who are already willing. They have created a war room for that. There are people who are willing to bring that anarchy. He has boots on the ground. He is the man who is Jagaban of Lagos State. He is radical, so he will do everything to remain in the seat of power. because he need to recover all his money that is spent during the time of a election campaign. I just hope that the verdict, if they give the verdict against him, he will make it before causing the anarchy. I just hope. But in that regard, I want everybody to understand that this man has a plan. He has a plan B, he has a plan C. The plan C is the one he just threatened you now. That is the last plan. The plan B is the plan that made him not to reshuffle people in the judiciaries, in the justice system. That is the plan, part of the plan B. There is no reshuffling in the justice system, because in the Department of Justice, because he knows that the people that are there are the people working for APC, are the people affiliated to APC and Fulani Fido system. Those are the people that are there. So he will use them accordingly. So it is up to obedient movement to know that if you pass through tribunal, you will now see the real thing and the real deal there in the Supreme Court. That's where he awaits you. And if you fail there, you will see him waiting for you on the street of Nigeria. The anarchy begins, and it will start affecting you obedient, and those people who are Biafrans. They will start destroying your stuff, because it is always you that is the scapegoat. And that is when maybe Yoruba people will unite with their, what they see as a superior forces, just like Afonja did and lost Ilorin, to fight what they so-called their common enemy. And their common enemy now is not going to be whom they are fighting with in the court of law. It is going to be you people that are just business people, you people that are just ordinary people living in Lagos. The anarchy is not going to, be anarchy against every Nigeria. It is anarchy against the tribe of P2B. That is exactly what the anarchy is going to be about. So I want you P2Bs, and I want you those Nigerians who are still patriotic to Nigeria, to understand what is going on. It is important that when you see an intelligent report, you honor it and you make use of it, because it is calculated according to what the algorithm is actually showing us. So it is very important. Asale Dokubo is ready. That is the reason why he first of all told P2B, if you go in there, I will chase you. Don't forget. He said to P2B, if you go in there, I will chase you. So the anarchy is what is going to come, what this situation is going to come to. They will frustrate you, obedient. They will frustrate you, P2B. In the Supreme Court, you will feel what Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is feeling. And, your own is worse, because you are just a politician. The only difference is that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is kept in a solitary confinement. You will be kept outside, and they will also be looking for everything and anything to actually use it to nail you. I said this last week, that they are looking for everything and anything to use it to nail anybody who is obedient and those who are following obedient. But believe you me, that is not our problem. Our problem is that to make sure that we secure our people and give them this information on time. A stitch in time saves 9. My friend, I told you, and my friend, I would have told you, the difference is quite clear. It is quite clear. So that is the reason why I am telling you now to make hay while the sun still shines, before it becomes too late. There is a plan, and what they are doing is going to give us what we are looking for. Because Chukwu Okike Abiama works in mysterious ways. A sacrifice must be paid for something to happen. Let Peter Obi become the sacrificial lamb, because we will get our freedom. And that is where we are right now. And our people, it is time to look towards home. Biafra land is the only place where you will be safe. If the war comes to you in your home, you know the route to escape. Very, very important. Don't forget what this guy said. What is the name of this guy? Let me show you his picture. El-Rufai. Don't forget what El-Rufai said. And as much as Tinubu is targeting Ndibo to be on the receiving end of his failure, if eventually he fails, the same way that the Fulanis are targeting Tinubu if he succeeds in that regard, the same way they are targeting him, because they are as well targeting him. Once we will use you to create animosity between Yorubas and Igbo, we will overrun you, because we will overrun you. You will not even see it coming. We will overrun you. They will kill him. If I have to say it on the in a non-diplomatic means, they will kill him. Once they done using him to victimize the Igbos, they will eliminate him. And the Yoruba people will not even know what happened. It will be like a movie. They will be very confused. And I will still be here to remind them that I said it. I will be here to remind them that I said it. We are not here to sugarcoat what we are seeing, what we are saying. We are here to give you the intelligent report, analysis of the report. It's not prophecy. It is a report analysis. That is exactly what you are seeing. We are giving to you. And I want you to watch it play. Watch it how it is going to be playing. You will find the element of what we have given you in advance. In all the games that they are going to be playing. Just starting from any moment from now. You will understand it. But we are here to make sure that we give you this gospel. It is a gospel of freedom, gospel of emancipation, gospel for, our gospel that will elevate our lives and black lives across the world. That's why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu tell you that people from the Caribbeans, people from the South Americans, they are going to find the light, the beacon that Biafra is going to be. Because it is a light, indeed. And we have seen that algorithm and we followed it. We have seen that light, we have seen that beacon. That's why we are here. To make sure that we preach this gospel, we bring you closer to it, we analyze it to the layman's understanding. That's what we do. And God bless Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and keep him safe, because he still have a lot of things that he need to do for Biafra. There are many knowledges that he still need to share with Biafrans. So that's why he must leave. That's why he must be kept safe. And that's the reason why the Fulanis are actually keeping him away from the people, so that they will not know what is going on. Because you might not believe when Judgement is say it to you. You might not believe when any other person say it to you, because they know you will believe Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That's why they kept him away. But very soon, them keeping him there will be inconsequential to him. He is coming out very soon. Them keeping him there is inconsequential to them now, because they have actually radicalized everyone in the struggle with their activities and their manipulative acts that they've been putting out there using the agent provocateur. It is a radicalization of the movement and making the movement to understand how, how the imperialism works. Because what the agent provocateur is doing is exactly what, imperialist is doing to Africa. It is actually making you believe that we are working with you when we are sabotaging you, making you believe we are getting there, we are trying to help you when we are destroying you. So it is exactly what we are seeing today. So we will go through it, we will have understand it, we will study it, we will make sure that it will not, the shadow is not going to pass in our nation building, because we will not allow it, because we will now understand how we have treated it in the past. That's why each and every time I come online, I will tell you that what is the driving this initiative of the agent provocateur. It is basically, there is something, the energy is coming from, Western agenda. It's coming from Western agenda. That's it. So it is very, very important that we continue to pay attention. I might have a very small platform. Facebook does not want us to preach the gospel. They will continue to block us, but we will continue to preach this gospel, because it is called the gospel of emancipation, unadulterated, regardless of who is crying. We don't care. We speak the truth, so that you will know we told you. Until we meet again, I believe my topics for tonight is done. The topic is done. So, great and wonderful people of Biafra all over the world, I salute you. For those of you who took out your time to be here to actually listen to this message, continue to share the message, continue to share it. It will get to the hearing of our people. Facebook activities will not deter us. AB Gina, I see you in that comment section. Cara Gold, I see you in that comment section. It's been a while though. And Chinasa Pauline Dikocha, I see you in that comment section. Solomon Weke, I see you. Victor and Biafra Ezenna and Mepeni, I see you guys in that comment section. You guys has been wonderful. You guys are the driver of this initiative, but we will continue. And then you guys rock. You guys are the reason why we are here. So thank you very much for joining us. Chukwu Okike Abiama bless all of you who are under the influence of my voice. but let this gospel get to the next person. It is very, very important. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is bound to be released because he has committed no crime known to any law of any nation. The crime has been committed against him. It is just because ordinary people does not have a voice in Nigeria system. That's why we can no longer stay in that system, because the system does not mean well or bring development to anybody who is part of it. It is only bringing, large pockets to those who are in the leadership position and the political space. So we cannot allow or continue to allow those few individuals to continue to truncate the growth of ordinary people who are the mass majority in the country. That is the reason why we have taken up this initiative of restoring the land of Biafra, which was there pre-independent or pre-colonialism. We are going back to our status quo to correct the mistakes, because before you will correct a mistake, you need to go back. Then you correct the mistake, then you create a new status quo. Then you start from there to build. You cannot build in a wrong foundation. That's what we are not going to actually intend. We are not intending to do. That's why we want a fresh nation where we will bring a new initiatives, a new, minds, fresh minds, and we build a nation that is going to be worthy of emulation in the world. We have what it takes. All we need is our sovereignty, and we must achieve it. It is a task that must be done. Until we meet again, Shalom.